Well, hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being here tonight at our Connect group. I want you to know before we get started tonight that here in these Connect groups, they're designed and created for you to be able to have a safe place, a safe space to be who you are, to be where you are on your journey of faith. It's so important to us that we give space for people to grow in their faith, space for questions, and something that may be different from what you've heard before is we like to have space for doubt. We believe that doubt is not the enemy of faith, that doubt is not the enemy of God, that doubt actually creates room for faith to grow. So we believe that doubt is something you can bring to God and allow Him to grow with you and to grow your faith through questions, through trying to understand more and more and being on this journey of faith. My name is Dominic Insenius. I'm the leader here at The Heart. We're just a community of people who are trying to figure life out together. So I'm so grateful for you to be here. If it's your first time here, thank you for taking a chance on community and for getting out of your comfort zone and coming to these groups with us. Before you go, I want you to say, thanks so much to the people that host and lead your Connect group. Give them a high five or a hug on the way out and saying thank you for what you do. It's because of these people and their generous time that they give that we're able to have these groups and to connect with people in these powerful ways. Now, the way these groups work, if it's your first time or you haven't been in a while, is we have a few questions that are based on the message that we had on Sunday morning. But even if you weren't there on Sunday, or even if you haven't listened to the podcast or anything like that, you can still be a part of the conversation where the questions are worded in such a way to where even if you weren't there, you can still be a part of it and still be in a way that you can grow with this community and that you can grow in your faith. Now, what we are doing right now at The Heart is we are in a message series that we have called Battle Ready. And in this message series, our goal is to make us prepared for what is coming our way in 2019, right? It's not about thinking negatively and saying bad things are going to happen, but it's more of if we know life is coming at us. And sometimes in life, things happen, difficult things happen, battles are going to come up, and we're going to have to fight those battles. If we know they're coming, then we can be prepared. And we want to be battle ready so in the battle we can be steady and not waver and not be surprised and not be caught off guard. Now, this past week, what we looked at was our first weapon, our first tool to be able to make ourselves battle ready. And we said that that is praise to God, being thankful, being grateful to God for what we have, for what He's doing, for who He is, for the people that He's brought in our life. That praise is the first thing we can use to make us battle ready. Simply giving thanks to God. And we went over a couple scriptures. We'll have them up here on the screen in a little bit. We looked at Colossians, we looked at Philippians, we looked at Psalm 9. Now, if you looked up praise to God or praise in the Bible, you would see it all over the scriptures. It's all over the place. So you can feel free to kind of do your own research and look into that later. We'll look at these scriptures here in a little bit. But I want to start off with this first question of when it comes to praise, when it comes to being grateful, come to being thankful, to having gratitude, what I want to know is this first question is looking back at 2018 and everything that happened this past year. There were some good things in your life, I'm sure, and there was some difficult situations, some battles that you faced. What is something that you are grateful for in the year 2018? Let's just take a few minutes and talk about maybe one thing or two things, something that you're most grateful for in 2018. I want you guys to take a few minutes to talk through that together, and we'll see what you guys come up with. All right, for question number 2 for tonight, I want you to think about a time and describe a time for us when gratitude changed your perspective. Now, this is kind of what we looked at on Sunday, but for this particular question, what I want you to think about is think of a time when someone else's gratitude changed your perspective, either on your life or your perspective on yourself, or changed your perspective in a situation you were in. Not because you were grateful, but because you saw someone else's gratitude and that affected you so much that it changed your perspective of something that was going on in your life. And after you describe that time, or as you think through that, try to think about and let's talk through, why do you feel someone else's gratitude could affect you and how it did that. So let's take a few minutes to dig into that. And I want to encourage you to be bold and to be brave, because when you speak from your heart about things that you're going through, it helps all of us grow in our journey of faith. So please don't be shy here, and be bold and share about a time in your life when someone else's gratitude changed your perspective on your life or on your situation, and why you feel like it did that. So let's take a few minutes to dig into that together. All right, now I want us to keep in this thought process of gratitude. That's the big theme for this week. This gratitude, this praise, this thanking God. It helps us to stay alert in our life. That's what we see in Colossians, Philippians, and in Psalm 9:1. So if we're thinking of gratitude and we have gratitude in our minds, what I want you to be thinking about is a time in your life. I want you to describe a time in your life when you choosing to have gratitude, when you choosing to be grateful, brought you peace where there was chaos. Whatever the situation was, or the relationship, or maybe at your job, or something with finances. And I'm not talking about the situation changing or the situation going your way, because when we face battles, and the battles we're going to face in 2019, they're not always going to go our way. They're not always going to be, they're not always going to come out with us on top. They're not always going to go the way that we think that they are. So what I want you to think about is a time when you chose to be grateful about something or for something. And just that simple act of you changing your perspective and choosing to be grateful, that brought you peace, even though that there was chaos right before that. So I want us to think about a time when that happened, describe that time for us, and maybe why do you think that happened? What is it about that change of perspective that brought you peace? So let's take a few minutes to dig into that and see what you guys think. All right, now as we wrap up tonight, I want to finish with this question. When it comes to these questions and these things that we're thinking about, again, the whole goal is for us to be able to take these things that we're learning into our life. We're not trying to just get smarter, right? We're not just trying to know more about God and know more about Jesus. We're trying to know God more and know Jesus more. So we want to take these things that we're learning and apply them into our life. So when it comes to gratitude, when it comes to being thankful, when it comes to praising God, what I want to know from you is, what area of your life can you bring in gratitude? Maybe you've never been grateful for something, or maybe it's just been a long time since you've thought to be grateful for this particular thing in your life or this particular area. What area of your life can you bring gratitude in and allow that to change your perspective? What area of your life needs a perspective change? And how will you this week bring gratitude into that and allow gratitude, allow praising God, allow being thankful for what you have, for who you are, for what God is doing? Allow that to change your perspective on what you have going on in that situation or in that relationship. How will you allow gratitude to change your perspective this week? So let's take a few minutes to talk through that together. Now, this is the last question for tonight, so I'll leave you with this here. I want to encourage you to invite someone to church this week. When it comes to church, it's not about just attending on a Sunday. It's about being a part of a community. So this week, as you're thinking about people to invite to church, or even another challenge to invite to Connect Group, it's not about getting people to attend. It's about inviting people into your mess, into your community, into your life. People around us crave connection. We are made for connection. And God has put us in this time and place to be able to connect with each other, and given us the strength and the patience and the hope and the mercy and the grace to reach out to those around us and connect with them as well. So I want to challenge you to invite someone to church this weekend, to invite someone to Connect Group. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And if I don't see you before then, I'll see you Sunday at 9:30 or 11. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.